If you're like me, Space Marine 2 hasn't really been hitting these last few months, but across the gaming pond in the world of Roblox, there are actually some really cool things being developed, so today I wanted to talk about my favorite Warhammer 40k fan projects on Roblox. Now you can say whatever you want about Roblox, but the fact that fans have been able to make all this cool stuff over there is fucking sick and shows how much potential 40k games have if this is what's being made there, and if GW gave more creative freedom to developers. So today I'll be looking at the top 3, in my opinion, Warhammer 40k / Horus Heresy games on Roblox. Let's get into it. First off is Astartes project, and it's basically Roblox's Eternal Crusade. The gameplay consists of capturing and holding 3 points to raise your score, and the team with the most score wins. And there's also an RP aspect, but I don't care about that. What really shines to me is the customization and how it matches what I was hoping Space Marine 2's would be like, where there's tons of options and almost everything is interchangeable with a bunch of attachments and little details that you can put on your character to add more personality or even make some really cursed combos if you want. When I sat down to record, I spent almost 20 minutes just customizing my fellas. I just like how crazy you can get with the customization or how model accurate of a Marine you can get. It just really shows what Space Marine 2 could be like if GW just loosened the reins on sabers so bonders didn't have to do all the fucking work. But anyways, it's not all perfect as some classes are locked behind special ranks and there's only a handful of loyalist chapters currently, but in my opinion, the system has a solid base that will only continue to grow in the future. I hope. There's also the Apothecary and Tech Marine class, which are also customizable and look fucking sick. But compared to the next few, Astartes is currently the most accessible due to how you can just hop in and get started rather than leveling up through RP. Now if you're more into RP / narrative campaigns, then these next two might interest you. Depths of Urgall, formerly Age of Darkness, and formerly Depths of Urgall before that, is set in the Horus Heresy, and it's actually what got me my first viral video and kickstarted my YouTube / TikTok journey, so it holds a special place in my heart, but this one is riddled with controversy. The game is RP focused, and you know what kind of people that can attract, but the main issue stems from toxic leadership, abuse of power, and a Discord full of dark terrors. However, at the time of this recording, I hear that leadership got gutted and that there's new owners now, so maybe that has changed, I don't know. Let me know if you want to follow up addressing that. But the base gameplay is also like Eternal Crusade / Battlefield, where you capture points to raise your score, but it's more heavily focused around the role playing with different factions, so if you're a casual like I was and just wanting to hop in and shoot people, sometimes you'll just be greeted by people standing in formations or 1v1ing, and then there's not much to do. But if you like RP, I think that can be a good time. Another thing that makes it less accessible than Astartes is how you don't begin as a Space Marine, you start as a Solar Auxilia, and then you have to apply to a Legion and build from there, showing up to rallies and doing tasks, and I don't care to do all that. But if that floats your boat, then check it out. But speaking of the Horus Heresy, next up is the Atrocity Reborn. This one is still early in the works, and from what I know is supposed to be a more chilled version of Depths of Urgall that follows more closely to Astartes with the gameplay first, but also has the RP aspect, and the leadership aren't uptight weirdos and seem more approachable from what I've experienced. This one also has customizable armor like Astartes, but in order to unlock it, you need to join a faction and go from there. And the core gameplay follows the others. It's fun to just roll around and get into battles, especially when the Primarchs start clashing and there's people swarming around. It just feels really cinematic. Both Depths of Urgall and the Atrocity make me wish that we get a Horus Heresy Space Marine game one day. Who knows? Now these may not be Space Marine 2 levels of quality, but there is a real passion and solidity to each of them that makes them fun to play or just pass the time on, so consider checking them out if you're interested. Each of these games will be linked down below. Also, if you want to follow up to any of these, or if I missed a game, drop a comment down below, or if you have any other suggestions. But anyways guys, take care and I'll see you again later this week. Peace!